By the time the school buses pulled into the lot, the damage was already done. In the middle of the parking lot, next to a silver car and a yellow bus full of wide-eyed kids, a Filipina teacher in a green blouse stood with her hands cuffed in front of her, papers tumbling from her grip like white birds. A police officer's fingers dug into her arm as he pulled her toward the cruiser, his jaw clenched, his voice loud enough for every phone camera to hear. Parents gasped. A little girl clung to her mother's leg and whispered, "Is Miss Cruz going to jail?" No one outside the circle knew how it had started. No one knew that the woman in cuffs was the reason 3 kids hadn't stepped into the street that morning. No one knew that the gray-haired man sprinting across the lot in a suit was not another angry parent, but her principal who had just watched the security footage that would change everything. Her name was Maria Cruz, 34, 5th grade teacher. She'd been at Maple Grove Elementary for 7 years, long enough that the kindergartners she'd first taught were now in high school. Her classroom was the one with colorful posters in English and Tagalog, the one that smelled faintly of crayons and pandesal on days she brought in snacks from home. She was known for being too involved, the kind of teacher who showed up to soccer games and sat through long parent conferences even when she could have sent an email. When the district asked each school to choose a Teacher of the Year nominee, her colleagues didn't even have to vote. That morning started like any other chaotic school morning. Buses running late, cars backed up, kids darting between bumpers because patience is not a trait most 8-year-olds possess. Maria had parking lot duty, orange vest over her green blouse, clipboard tucked under one arm as she waved cars forward and reminded kids to use the crosswalk, sweetie. It all went sideways in the span of 30 seconds. A silver SUV rolled up faster than the others, music thumping. Maria recognized it as Mr. Dalton's. His 3rd grader, Tyler, usually hopped out with his backpack half-zipped. Today, the SUV stopped a few feet farther back than the others. The door flew open before the vehicle had fully stopped. Tyler jumped out, tripped on the curb, and stumbled toward the bus lane. At the same time, 3 younger kids, kindergartners still half asleep, stepped off the bus on the wrong side, giggling as they chased each other toward the parking area instead of the sidewalk. A distracted parent in a minivan was inching forward, eyes on her phone instead of on the tiny legs crossing her path. Maria's heart lurched. She dropped her clipboard and ran. "Stop!" she shouted, throwing an arm out in front of Tyler and grabbing the nearest kindergartner by the backpack strap. The boy lost his balance and sat down hard on the asphalt, more surprised than hurt. The other 2 kids froze at the sound of her voice. The minivan's brakes squealed as the driver finally looked up, face going pale.
For a second, there was silence. Then everyone started talking at once. Tyler burst into tears. "She pushed me," he wailed, brushing at his scraped knee. The kindergartner on the ground looked up at Maria, eyes wide. "You scared me," he sniffled. Maria dropped to her knees. "I'm so sorry, buddy," she said, checking his hands, his knees, making sure nothing was twisted or bleeding. "I didn't mean to scare you. I just didn't want that car to hit you." The minivan driver climbed out, shaking. "Oh my God," she said. "I didn't see them. I'm so..." Her apology was cut off by Mr. Dalton's voice, sharp and furious. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he shouted, marching toward them. He was tall, red-faced from the heat or anger or both. "You can't just grab my kid like that." Maria stood, adrenaline still buzzing. "He ran into the bus lane," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. "Those little ones were in the road. I was afraid they'd get hit." "You shoved him," Dalton jabbed a finger at her. "I saw you." "I put my arm out so he wouldn't run into traffic. I'll walk you both to the nurse to check his knee. But please don't shout. You're scaring." "I'm calling the district," he snapped, yanking Tyler to his side. "You immigrants think you can lay hands on our kids? Not today." The word immigrants hit her like a slap. Parents nearby turned their heads. Maria felt heat rush to her face, but she forced herself to breathe. "I understand you're upset, but my job is to keep all students safe. If I hadn't..." "Save it," he cut in. He pulled out his phone. "I'm calling the cops." The minivan driver tried to interject. "Sir, she—" He waved her off. "I saw what I saw." Maria watched him pace away, phone pressed to his ear, words like assault and "my son bleeding" floating back to her. She swallowed the tightness in her throat and focused on the kids. She got the kindergartner to his feet, dusted off his pants, and handed him over to the bus aide. She apologized to Tyler again, offering to walk him to the nurse. 10 minutes later, the first cruiser arrived. Officer Reynolds stepped out, scanning the scene with the tired impatience of someone who'd already had a long day. He was broad-shouldered, in his 40s, and Maria recognized him. He'd spoken at a school assembly about stranger danger last year. He'd been jovial then, making kids laugh. He wasn't smiling now. He spoke with Mr. Dalton first. They stood a few feet away, Dalton gesturing animatedly toward Maria, toward the bus, toward Tyler's barely scraped knee. Maria couldn't hear every word, but she caught phrases. Slammed him. Threw another kid down. Out of control. She felt something sink inside her. That wasn't what happened. That wasn't what anyone who had actually looked would have seen.
Before we continue the story, let me know what country you're watching from. Hit the like button if you love this story, and please subscribe if you are new to my channel. Let's continue.
But Reynolds didn't ask for the bus aide. He didn't talk to the minivan driver. He didn't look for the security camera mounted on the light pole. He walked straight to Maria, lips pressed in a hard line. "Ma'am, step over here," he said, voice clipped. Maria did, heart pounding. "Officer, I'm happy to explain." "You can explain downtown. Right now I'm detaining you on suspicion of assaulting a minor." Her throat went dry. "Assault? No, I stopped him from running into the street. Those little ones." "You put your hands on him," Reynolds said. "On more than one child, according to witnesses." "I grabbed a backpack," she said. "I put my arm out. If I hadn't, that car—" Reynolds glanced at her blouse, her skin, her name badge that read, "MS Cruz, 5th grade. He snorted. "You teachers think you can do whatever you want and hide behind your school ID, he muttered. "Not today." He reached for her wrist. "Wait," Maria said, panic rising. "Please don't do this in front of my students. We can go inside and talk. Call the principal, he'll—" He twisted her arm behind her back. The cold metal of the handcuffs bit into her skin. "You have the right to remain silent," he began, reciting the words almost mechanically as papers slid out from the folder she'd been holding. Lesson plans, permission slips, a letter of recommendation she'd been about to send for a student, fluttering to the asphalt. Kids nearby gasped. Someone's phone shot up, recording. The little girl by the bus whispered again, voice trembling this time. "Is Miss Cruz bad?" Maria felt tears prick her eyes, not from pain, but from humiliation. "Please," she whispered, "I didn't do anything wrong." "Tell that to the kid you knocked down," Reynolds said. "We've had complaints before about staff discipline methods. Maybe in your country they hit kids, but here—" The sentence died midair. "Officer Reynolds." The shout sliced across the parking lot like a siren. Everyone turned. Striding toward them from the school entrance was a man in a gray suit, tie askew from how fast he'd been walking. It was Principal David Miller. His face, usually calm and pleasant, was set in a tight, furious line Maria had never seen before. In one hand, he clutched a tablet. In the other, his school ID swang wildly. "There will be no more of that," he said, cutting between Reynolds and Maria. His gaze flicked to the cuffs on her wrists, then to the officer's hand on her arm. "Take those off, now." Reynolds straightened. "Sir, I'm handling a complaint. We received a call about a teacher assaulting—" "I'm aware of the call," Miller said coldly. "I'm also aware of the security footage I just watched from 3 different angles." He held up the tablet and tapped the screen. "Spoiler alert, the only thing Miss Cruz assaulted was a disaster." Reynolds frowned. "What footage?" "The one from the bus camera, the one from the lot camera, and the one from the front door, all of which clearly show Miss Cruz putting herself between a moving vehicle and 3 children whose parents will be sending her thank you cards instead of pressing charges." He turned the tablet so Reynolds could see. On the screen, a frozen frame showed Maria lunging toward the kids, arm outstretched, the minivan's grille visible just feet away. Miller's voice dropped, deadly quiet. You laid hands on one of my teachers in front of her students without speaking to a single staff witness or checking a single piece of school evidence? You handcuffed her while she was still holding a stack of permission slips. A murmur rippled through the crowd. The minivan driver stepped forward, wringing her hands. "I tried to tell him," she said. "She saved them. Her voice broke. "I almost hit those kids." She yanked them back. The bus aide added, "Officer, I saw the whole thing. Miss Cruz reacted faster than any of us. That boy's knee got scraped because he sat down hard, not because she pushed him." Reynolds' jaw tightened. He looked from the footage to Maria's tear-streaked face, to the parents staring at him, some angry, some scared. Behind him, Mr. Dalton shifted uneasily, color draining from his cheeks as he realized how the scene had changed. "Uncuff her."
For a moment, Reynolds looked like he might argue. Then the weight of the eyes around him and the cameras seemed to hit all at once. He exhaled through his nose, pulled the key from his belt, and unlocked the cuffs. The metal fell away from Maria's wrists with a soft click. She rubbed them instinctively, skin reddened. Papers still littered the ground at her feet. "I'm sorry," Reynolds said, the words stiff, catching on his tongue. "I was acting on the information I had." "No," Miller said, softly but firmly. "You were acting on the assumption you made." He turned slightly, addressing the crowd now. "Let me be absolutely clear. Miss Cruz did exactly what we train our staff to do in an emergency. She saw children in danger and she moved. If she hadn't, we would be dealing with something far worse than a scraped knee and hurt feelings." He faced Reynolds again. "The next time you respond to a school call, I expect you to treat my staff as partners, not suspects, especially when the only thing you know about them is that they're brown and standing nearest to the complaint." Reynolds' face flushed. "I didn't say it out loud," Miller finished. "No, you didn't. But you didn't have to." He turned to Maria, and his expression softened. "Maria, do you want to go inside for a moment?" he asked gently. "We can finish dismissal without you." She inhaled shakily, glancing at the kids still watching from the bus windows. They pressed their faces to the glass, worried eyes tracking her every move. "I'll finish," she said, hoarse but steady. "They're already scared. If I disappear now, it'll be worse." Miller nodded, respect in his eyes. "Okay," he said, "but after that, you're going home early. That's an order." A few parents chuckled softly, the tension easing just a fraction. Before he turned away, Miller looked back at Reynolds. "There will be a formal complaint. From me, from the district, and from Miss Cruz if she chooses. I suggest you document very carefully what you said about teachers from her country in your report. Body cameras are unforgiving." Reynolds swallowed hard. "Understood," he said quietly. Mr. Dalton stepped forward, face ashen. "Miss Cruz," he stammered. I was just worried about Tyler. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I thought you thought the worst about me." He opened his mouth, closed it. "Thank you for stopping him," he finally managed, voice barely above a whisper. Maria nodded once. She wasn't ready to offer more than that. Dismissal eventually resumed. Buses rolled out. Cars pulled away. The kids chattered, retelling the story in fragments that would grow wilder by dinner time. The cop grabbed her. The principal saved her. Miss Cruz is a superhero. Later that evening, a short clip hit social media. 30 seconds of a cop snapping handcuffs on a Filipina teacher in a school parking lot, followed by the moment a principal in a gray suit stepped in between them, holding up a tablet. Comments exploded, some ugly, many supportive. The district scrambled to release a statement praising Miss Cruz's swift and courageous actions and promising ongoing conversations with local law enforcement. But for Maria, the most important moment wasn't online. It came a week later when Tyler shuffled into her classroom before the bell, hands stuffed in his pockets. "My dad made me come," he muttered, "but I wanted to anyway." She closed her gradebook and gave her full attention. "Okay," she said. "I'm listening." He stared at the floor. "I was mad that day. I thought you pushed me on purpose. But then I saw the video. You grabbed my shirt so I wouldn't go under that car. I'm sorry I said you hurt me." He hesitated, then added very softly, "Thank you for saving me." Something in her chest loosened. She smiled, just a little. "You're welcome," she said. "Next time, maybe wait until the car stops before you jump out, okay?" He huffed a weak laugh. "Yeah," he said. "My dad got in trouble for that too." When he left, she sat at her desk for a long moment, fingers grazing the faint marks around her wrists. She thought about how close the day had come to defining her in a way that had nothing to do with who she was. Teacher, immigrant, protector. She knew there would be other days when people looked at her and saw the wrong story first, but she also knew this: she shouldn't need a principal's intervention, or a viral video, or a perfect security angle to be treated with basic respect. Still, on that morning in the parking lot, she'd had all three. And a small part of her hoped that the next time Officer Reynolds responded to a call about a foreign teacher causing trouble, he'd remember the green blouse, the flying papers, the kids on the edge of the street, and the moment he realized
Thank you for watching to our Badge and Justice stories. If you want to watch more stories like this, click the videos above. See you again tomorrow.